Right, let's turn our mics on so we can hear. Hello, chat. We're here. It's Sunday, and it's D&D, and we had a giraffe in the corner, but I see it's morphed into a Drax, which I don't know which is better looking, the giraffe or Drax, to be fair. But we are here, and we are live, and again, to reiterate what most people already know as of Wednesday, unfortunately, Mr. Trashman has had to pull out of said D&D games due to some IRL stuff at home. So unfortunately, we may see him in the chat. He has been popping into the chat from time to time, but he is not able to commit to the D&D at the moment, so he has pulled out. So therefore we have on Wednesday written out his character of the Lost Mines, but in such a way that if he is, I just realized I moved some stuff around. If he's able to come back, he can, which is always good. And we had some Baz with a resub there, 32 months. Look at that. Thank you very much for your contribution to thy channel. So, on that note, another announcement I have to make. At the end of this month, I am moving, so that there will be disruptions to the channel at some point. I don't know exactly when or how at that stage. We are picking up the keys on the 27th of this month, which is a Thursday. So there'll be no stream on that Thursday and probably the Friday, because our internet will be switched off at this house on the Friday and at the new place the same day, hopefully. And we've gotten early enough to get all that switched over. So the 26th, the Lost Mines on the 26th will go ahead. That will still happen. So everything will be normal up until at least the 26th. The Paradigm 2 on the 30th of October may or may not happen. It will all depend on A, whether we have internet, and B, whether I've set my shit up or not, because we'll be moving that Saturday. So if I can get it all set up in time, then we will do it. Otherwise, I'll let you guys know. Probably, I should be able to let everyone know by the 29th, which will be the Friday before. So keep an eye on the Gilded and on the Twitter, and we'll certainly let you know whether everything will be going ahead. But at this stage, it should be okay. Depends on whether my internet company decides to screw me or not. But without any further ado, we should do our little recap and things and stuff, and get into the session for tonight. Where are my DM's information recaps? So the recap from episode 14 which was I feel like it was ages ago. Was that last week, or did we skip last week? The week before. Damn, 2 weeks ago. Wow, we got to get back into the schedule and get this organized. Anywho, so last we left off, you had received a new assignment and had headed away from the keep again, headed towards a village called Steerin, where they seem to have a harpy problem, it seems. Your first day's travel went without incident. You set up camp near a small river. Watches were had. Uth had seemed a little weird and a little off colour, and had confided in Dilly and let her read the letter that he'd received while at the keep, but also asked her not to say anything to anyone else at this point, which she did. She agreed to without too many problems. Next morning, as you prepared to break down your camp and continue your journey, you were attacked by a mysterious creature. Not so mysterious to some of you, or many of you, because you'd seen this creature on a training day when out with Sergeant Stormhammer, and unfortunately for Dilly, as she cast her detect magic spell, the creature made a beeline directly for her, as it had sensed her arcane usage, and it seems to feed on those that are sensitive to the arcane. However, luck was on your side with the arcane anomaly, which had been very present this day, and another casting of a spell by Various, it seems, benefited you in some form. Not that you are aware of it, but the creature fell into a slumber, which enabled you to get the upper hand. Tolvir getting hold of it to ensure that it could not chase down Dilly any further, and you dispatched it rather quickly after that. I believe taking its head and wrapping it up and putting it inside of LV from memory. Prepare with a sub, what's up? Prime sub, thank you so much. Appreciate that. You then broke down camp in which one of your tents was destroyed by the creature, and LV offering his tent to Dilly as a replacement because he doesn't need it after all. And you set out again for your second day of travel. About halfway through the day, halfway two-thirds through the day, it was decided to take a short rest, as some of you had taken a bit of a beating and needed to rest, and Various wanted to practice his aim because his aim was a little off during the battle. LV also wished to get his targeting module up to code, shall we say. So there's a little backwards and forth where LV aided Various in his targeting, Uth being Uth. Again, seeming a little off, more so than usual. Another sub from Erica, what's up? Thank you very much. 6 months resub from you, sir, thank you. And as you were resting, a flamboyant man approached and introduced himself as Harris Stevenson, I believe his name was, and turns out he was a bard, which seemed to upset Various somewhat, and Various was a little curt, which prompted a little bit of a back and forth. LV drawing his weapon on the individual after sensing dragon blood as his directives, but eventually being told to stand down by Tolvir. The man, seemingly realizing he may have outstayed his welcome, then vacates rather quickly and heads on his way, leaving you to once again pack yourselves up, remount your horses, and prepare to set out for the remainder of the afternoon, which is now where we pretty much rejoin you guys. And Mina with the resub as well, thank you very much. 94, we're on our level 1 hype train, 94%, another sub, some biddies, anything will bring that and hit that level 2 hopefully. But anywho, so we rejoin you guys now. You are remounted and heading northward along this main tradeway. Before Tolvir, you would know that in about a few hours time you're going to have to make a turn westward towards the Howling Mountains to follow a trail leading to Steerin, which is marked on your map. You probably got a 2 or 3 hours travel before you hit that turn off. Because you know the area relatively well, your travel is a lot more swift than it would be otherwise. So what would have normally been a 4-day travel from the keep, you've cut it down to just over 3. So you are a day and a half. So you've got about a day and a half to go before you can reach Steerin. You've got about 6 hours of daylight left as you now head out once again. And I'll turn it over to you as you're traveling in the afternoon. The sun is now over its apex and it's now starting to move towards its setting position in the sky. It is early to mid-afternoon. The clouds have formed over the Howling Mountains to the west, which on occasion still have that slight roll of thunder that can be heard in the distance. Possible rain over the hills, perhaps, you're not entirely sure, but it is definitely a little darker in that area. It is now over to you as you travel northward.
Oh, Corporal, do you mind if I hang to the back behind Uth?
Yes, make sure he keeps up. Go ahead.
Sure, no worries. And Dilly's just going behind him because she just wants to hang back a bit. The events just happening with everything going on is concerning her, especially with something that LV said is churning over in her mind.
So Oath has, again, as much as he is following his orders and keeping up, he's not keeping up, if you know what I mean. He's dropping back a little bit. Enough that it wouldn't really concern you, Tolvir, about hurrying him up, but definitely to the point where he's just lagging just a little bit behind. And again, Dilly, you would notice he is definitely nervous. He's watching the people on the road. He's watching the road ahead and the road behind. His eyes are almost everywhere. He's a lot more alert than what he normally would be, which does stand out for him.
Dilly is going to go up to him and go, the thunder making you nervous is knowing exactly what's going on, but trying to make a different kind of conversation.
He looks at you kind of quizzically and just says, don't like the rain.
And Dilly would have raised her eyebrow, like, she's got an idea of what's going on, but not what's happened in the morning, but it's like, go up ahead. I just want to make sure that things are still okay. I'm not comfortable with how this morning went. I'll be with you in a moment. Go up ahead a bit more.
And he moves a little bit further ahead of you. Not too much, but enough to create distance for him. Like he's in that very sort of solitude moment. Like he's with you guys, but he's trying to create enough distance where he can sort of think to himself and not actually talk to anyone.
Corporal.
Yes.
What do you think that musician actually wanted? I mean, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Like, most people on the road are avoiding us, and he just came right up to us.
They crave attention. If he'd said something, if he'd suggested singing about something that was interesting, I would have taken him up on it. But not really my sorts of topics.
I was a bit curt with him. Musicians remind me of the worst parts of home, and they're always so smarmy, and it felt like he was up to something, you know?
Yeah, just sort of showed up and wanted to sit down with us. So I guess too hard for him to make his own campfire.
And I think there was something about him having dragon blood.
Oh, maybe I misjudged him.
I wonder if they meant like in a jar somewhere on his person, or because he didn't really look like a dragon.
No, he definitely didn't.
Best roll of the night. Various, roll a history check for me. I want to see what you remember of this bard and what he looked like. Quite a bit, it seems. As you're talking about the dragon blood, something strikes you a little odd. As you sort of cast your mind back to earlier in the day, where this flamboyant character had strolled up to where you had stopped on the side of the road, introduced himself, and as he gave you that low bow initially, you did notice at the top of his collar, on the right hand side of his neck, there was a mark, purplish, almost arcane purple blue mark on the side of his neck, which, now think about it, kinda had the shapings of a dragon, like wings splayed perhaps. Just didn't think about it until now.
Mind you, I have heard that, I mean, didn't the queen go around in the guise of a human or a dwarf or something? Like they can disguise themselves as other things.
Yeah, I know that they can do that.
I wonder if they can transform into like a piece of furniture or a book. That'd be kind of neat. LV,
This one is listening.
can dragons turn into inanimate objects? Is that a thing? You know about dragons.
LV knows somewhat. Has never seen one turn into an inanimate object, no.
I suppose they'd be vulnerable as an inanimate object.
It would depend on the spellcasting ability of said dragon.
Do you think that bard was the dragon?
This one knows and detected dragon blood. That is all I can tell you.
Well, it didn't seem like he was trying to kill us. He just seemed like he wanted to annoy us a little, maybe.
Maybe he's looking for a free drink. Those types like to drink a lot.
And
Query.
query away.
What does a dragon bard do?
I'm guessing it would sing or play an instrument. Pretty certain he had an instrument.
He was carrying a lute, yes.
Music. Singing. These are things I know nothing about.
Well, you're not really missing much. It gets old after a while. I've also heard that bards often have weird sexual proclivities, but I'm not sure how true that is. It might be one of those stereotypes.
What's a stereo?
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if he was part dragon, then one of his parents is into something really strange. I wonder what else he is.
Corporal, do you wish this unit to hang to the rear or scout up front?
Either or, just be aware. I think Dilly and Uth are covering the back and I'm covering the front, so wherever you feel is the best place to be. Wherever you can get the best vantage point to be aware.
That is a better instruction. Wherever I feel is an odd instruction. Advantage point. This one will go to the right of the road and just ahead.
Okay. Don't go too far from the group.
Scanning area. DM, I'd like to just keep an eye on the front area and make sure I keep a good look of what's upcoming and anything on the roadway or trees that are as we're moving.
Yep. Make a perception roll for me.
There it is. Pew.
Percepticon. 15. Duly noted. You're definitely aware of the travellers on the road. There are travellers travelling both directions. This is a made trade road between Gatton and Villand, and obviously from Gatton into heading into like the likes of the Lacey Woods, the Diggar Forest, and New Redfield to the north. So it's well travelled, and the people aren't really avoiding you as such. They recognise the uniform. Some are quite pleasant and wave and as you travel. Others tend to just more or less ignore the presence of the militia on the road. They realise that most people know the laws of this realm, and for the most part, it's relatively peaceful, with the obvious exception. For the remainder of the afternoon, not much really catches your eye. You continue to travel northward. Conversations backwards and forwards between you. Elvie answering any questions put to him in his usual manner. But for all intents and purposes, nothing untoward on the road this day. You eventually, as the late afternoon starts to set in, Tolvir, you reach the small trail that heads off to the west, leading towards the village of Steerin. And you know it's going to cross the base of the Howling Mountains before turning northward back up towards the lake, the Gatton Lake, before you'll actually reach the Steerin Village. There are several places you can camp along the way. You know the area relatively well. It's forested, it's relatively thick. There are several clearings here and there. The wildlife in this area is not exceptionally hostile. There are obviously bears and wolves and things like that, of that nature. The lake has said to house water creatures on occasion that have come to shore, very rarely. Attack the occasional fishing boat. Nothing too drastic or dramatic. But also, all of you are aware of the recent intensity of the arcane anomalies, that some of the wildlife has been started to be affected as well. So you're seeing more and more interesting creatures, and hearing, like, the keep is getting more and more reports of these possible hybrids, things that have not existed before, that have come to light in recent weeks. So you are all aware that you may come across things that you may not have seen before, and you may not exactly know how to deal with them, perhaps. But you make the turn, start heading westward, and decision from you, Tolvir. So you can travel until the sun give it that sort of hour before sunset and set up camp, or you can continue to travel till after sunset before setting up camp. Obviously, if it's after sunset, it's going to take a little longer to set the camp up because it'll be dark, but you will obviously travel a little further and make your next day's travel that much quicker. So it'll be up to you whether you want. I mean, there's been no time frame given for this particular assignment. You're not in any rush, but it's up to you on how you wish to travel and when you wish to camp.
As Tolvir doesn't have dark vision, I'd say I would probably start when we can see.
Indeed.
In order to set up camp.
Indeed, the only member of your squad that has the ability to see in the dark is Dilly, which you would be well aware of. So you move, you take that Western Trail, and you follow the Western Trail for a couple of hours. And as the sun starts to descend behind the Howling Mountains, you give the order to find and set up camp, which you do so with relative ease. We're not going to make survival checks every time you guys do this. I think we've done it enough. You're military trained. You've been told where to look for and how to find a camp. You've done it a few times now, and you easily find a clearing in the woods. No water source this time. It's just a small clearing. Trees for windbreak to the west. and you set up your tents, which would be 4 tents, not 5, as LV does not need one. And you set yourself up for a night once again. When this catches up, oh, wrong one. Camp 1, activate. And we don't have any tokens on here just yet. My bad. LV, hello. Delay. Over there. Over there. Various. And I'm not going to put Uth on in the campsite. Uth will be in this tent here. He's, as soon as you guys set up your camp, he's literally going to set up and look. I'm beat. If you don't mind, I'll take, like, I don't know, last watch or something. I'm just need to get some sleep. That's all right. 12 year.
All right. Who beat Oath? Oh, never mind. Yeah. Alrighty then, we'll wake you up when it's your turn.
Corporal, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to do a 500, and I don't know what meters is in yards, but meter radius of the clearing, and scout around and do it stealthily, using her dark vision to see what she can see.
So you want to just do a scout of the camp?
Yep, just to make sure there's none of those nice little handily, animals that attack her in the morning or anything like that. And she'd be doing it as stealthily as possible because she's not silly.
Open that up there. So Bruce has gone into there. So I will get you to, where are we? Billy. You've got. Get Dilly to roll a perception check. It's not bad. It's not great either, but it's not bad. Dilly, you go for a wander around the camp, and you find trees, you find rocks. You do spot a few interesting creatures, ones that you've probably not seen before or may not be familiar with. They scuttle away from you the moment you sort of make your presence known. They seem more scared of you than you are than they would be trying to attack you or anything like that. But you find nothing that stands out that would be a threat in your eyes at this point.
She'll go back to Corporal. As far as I can tell, there are none of those fucking things out there. You pick what watch I take. I don't mind.
Well, and he's going to address the group. If Oath's taking last, then do you want to take second to last, Dilly, and I'll take the one before that? And
No worries. I'm beat. I've had one of those days. Again, sorry, I've been so out of it, and I don't think I've acted as a first. I'm going to bed. And she'll go into the tent, and I'm guessing this one that's right here is hers. So
Yep, whatever you choose a tent,
Yep.
you can go in there and
Yep.
close off your tent and do your thing.
alright, rest well.
I'll take first watch, Corporal, while it's still a bit light out. I know LV will be on watch most of the night.
Affirmative.
Alrighty, well, if everyone's going to bed, then I guess I should as well.
Sounds like a plan, Corporal. I'll wake you up when it's your turn for watch.
Excellent.
So with that, Corporal retires to his tent. His tent stays open as always with his feet sticking out because he's way too tall for the tent. Leaving LV, who goes into somewhat shutdown mode, motionless, standing on the edge of the firelight there, and Varys leaving you to take watch for the first 3 or 4 hours. Is there anything in particular that Varys would like to do while he is on watch? Or just going to tend the fire and walk the perimeter?
Yeah, every now and again he'll jot something down in his notes. He'll sit primarily in front of Oof's tent and sort of like look over his shoulder every now and again, but not bother him. And every now and again he'll go to ask LV something and think better of it, and then he'll do a perimeter around and then sit down and sort of rinse and repeat.
Okay.
As he nears LV, he would hear a low whirring sound as LV's in his stasis form, and he'd hear disk clean and defragmentation.
Awesome. Does Varys react to said noises? And
He'd probably go up and sort of like just listen, and he'd jot some of that down, like the things he's hearing.
problem.
Cleaning C drive. Do you wish to remove cookies? Search history. Deleted.
Varys is at once thinking, oh, it'd be fascinating to pull him apart, and also how horrible that is.
We need to make that
No,
perception
disassemble
check for me.
LV.
18. Nice. So apart from the fact that you're getting all these weird noises and these weird murmurings from LV, the watch goes pretty well. I mean, you do notice the wildlife around. In fact, at one point, probably just out of the sort of the reach of the firelight, you notice a flash of red and white fur sort of bound around the camp, and it catches your eye when you sort of, oh, what was that? And as you watch over the course of the next hour or so, you see this creature sort of peers out behind a tree towards the campfire. Quite innocent looking creature. The red, white and dark patches of fur are quite evident even from this distance, with the flicker from the firelight catching its eyes and giving that, you get that eye glow, that reflection off the eyes of creatures that normally hang out in the forest, which is kind of eerie but kind of fascinating all at the same time. And it seems to hang around and watch for about an hour or so before eventually, almost like it disappears up a tree. And a natural 20.
The best picture he's ever drawn.
It is. It looks exactly like this creature. The creature, we can show the chat. What this creature looks like. In fact, yep, it was a connection issue. Here we go. So now the chat can see it. Yes, I think I lost connection there for a moment, Drax.
Yeah, I think it dropped out because it said you were offline and then came back.
Oh, really?
The stream did.
Well done, Twitch.
Thought it was me.
Bunch of cucks. Yes, it says that says I'm unstable, which. Oh. Yeah, it did. Thanks, Twitch. Your awesome service.
I mean, you're definitely unstable.
Oh yeah, we're all unstable. But yes, that is the creature that is seen lurking around the camp by Various. And that is the picture you draw also, Various. Just like that, smiling and everything. And that would lead you to the end of your watch for the evening, which I believe LV was going to take next one, or whoever you decide to wake up.
Tolvir was.
Was it Tolvir second watch?
Yeah, it was you, Tolvir, Mina, then shit. Oath.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll
So you'll wake Tolvir.
yeah, I've still got my drawing utensils out, and his feet are at the end, so I'll just like Corporal Tolvir, and I'll like just poke his toes.
Tolvir would wait. Yep. Alright. I'm alright.
I saw a creature out there. It didn't look dangerous. There's definitely a lot of noise out, though.
Does it look edible?
Does everything have to be edible? I mean, technically, you're edible.
Yeah. But I taste funny, so I wouldn't bother.
I don't want to know how you know you taste funny, Corporal, but I'm going to go to bed with that thought in my head. Good night, Corporal.
Good night.
So with
Yes,
that,
thing.
Mr. Tolvir.
Tolvir would stack up the fire. He'd find a long stick and stick it in the fire. Once the end of the stick, it's stick one end of the stick in, and once the end of the stick was burning, then he'd carry it like a torch and wander around the camp.
No problem. I'll even turn the torch on for you. It's a big ass torch. Hang on. Get your light here for a second. Stop wandering.
I like the fact that it automatically turns.
This is very cool. Light. Oh, that's right. Cool. So as you make your wanderings, I will get you, sir, to make one of those things for me.
Yeah.
11. Not bad. So as you wander around the camp with your lit piece of wood, your makeshift torch, you notice much the same things. You do notice every time you pass around by the Oath tent that, again, he seems restless. He seems to be tossing and turning and sort of muttering and murmuring, maybe in his sleep. Nothing overly unusual. You've definitely heard this a few times before, but maybe a little more nervous than, maybe a little bit more noise than usual, but it's nothing that you haven't heard before. But everything else seems to be A-okay. No disturbances during the evening, during your watch. You stoked the campfire several times. LV, is there any more defragging and such as Tolvir is wandering around?
He would hear words and clicks. Defrag is complete. It doesn't take long because he keeps his system clean.
I will say, LV, actually, while you're going through your system diagnostics for the evening, I'll get you to make a wisdom save for me.
Affirmative. Where are you, wisdom? Ah, there.
10. With a 10, as you're going through those system diagnostics, it keeps tripping and stopping and restarting for maybe the first hour or so. And it stops in the same place every time and then restarts. Gets to a certain point and stops. And as you, I would say you would probably focus on that for a bit and try and figure out what's causing the issue. And it seems to be what would be where your personality profile was located. whether chunks of it are missing or whether it's corrupted. Not sure. You're not sure what's happening with that particular section. It just keeps trying to go over it again and again. It keeps stopping and restarting. Goes back over that situation, stops and starts, and then eventually just skips it.
Rerouting. Sensing bad blocks. Override. Confirm. New path. Corrected. Temporarily.
Alvia, the rest of your watch goes without incident, apart from the whirring and clicking from LV. And I would also say, as you passed LV on occasion, as it's been approximately 12, 13, 14 hours since your last camp, getting a little bit of a smell coming from LV as well. A little bit of a smell of, you'd know the smell too. It's the smell of rotting meat. Definitely getting that coming from, you get a whiff of it every now and again as the wind blows a particular way as you pass LV. But up to you how you deal with that and who you wake for the next watch.
Yeah, just ignore it. End of his watch, he'd go over to Dilly's tent to wake her. I'll check Julian's system. Hey, I got it right. And again, he'd reach in with his tail and on her shoulder, sort of take her awake.
And I rolled for this to see if I would do it, and I would. She lets loose a bolt from her crossbow because she got attacked that morning and she's a bit jumpy.
No worries. I would say, as a purely reactionary thing, roll to hit with disadvantage.
Okay.
So just roll so whatever your normal roll to hit is, just roll it with disadvantage.
Okay, so I go to inventory and just do the whole 20. I'm gonna
Just
do
roll
it
a just roll a d20 and add your whatever your hit modifier is.
Yep. I'm gonna miss because I got double sixes, so that would be an 8 to hit.
Yeah, so you definitely miss. So the bolt goes wide, probably out through the top of the tent and disappears into the night sky.
And she'll stand up with sit up with a bolt and just ready to go again. Oh, my watch, Corporal.
Tolvia, who's probably looking away, would look at the top of the tent. What the heck was that?
You definitely hear the sound, like you'd hear it go through the tent.
It's like schwack, and a rip in the canvas. What the heck was that? Alright.
Must be a rock going through the tent. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
My watch. Okay.
Yes, your watch.
All right. And Dilly will get up, and actually put on all of her armor. She
Yep.
won't even.
Definitely, you redon your armor, whatever armor you have.
Well, actually, I don't have armor, but redon all weaponry and everything like that. Ready to go. And she'll have her crossbow loaded and in her hand. And she'll go, okay, anything to report, Corporal?
Oh no, just
And what the
basic
fuck is
creatures.
that smell?
Yeah, you definitely
Holy
smell it now.
shit!
You're close enough to LV, you'd smell it.
Oh, and she'll do the whole. She'll look at LV going, oh, I need to learn how to do precipitation thing again. Oh, if you're going to keep doing this, Corporal, I need to make sure I have to. Oh, and she's trying not to gag as she's get some sleep. And she's going to stand as far away from LV as she can.
No worries. LV, you smell
and-
nothing because you don't have the ability to smell.
Correct.
And yeah, she's going to do a scout around the camp again. Not too far out of the camp, like just so it gives her that extra 60 feet from light.
Not a problem at all. I will get you this away. Get you to roll a perception check, please. With a dirty 20. So, as you wander around the camp, trying to stay well away from LV and the smell that is emanating from his insides, you notice again the nighttime animals, the birds in the trees, owl hooting off in the distance. You hear, probably even with a dirty 20, you probably just hear the water from the lake, which is probably miles away, but you probably just catch every now and again as the winds are just right, that sound of water lapping at a water's edge. Only just. You get a wind coming up off top of the mountain every now and again, which gives a bit of a cold breeze across the camp. But apart from that, really not much else sort of stands out to you.
Every time the wind comes across, so long as it's not...
It's blowing away. It's blowing. You are upwind from LV. You're not
gonna
down.
do the whole...
Yeah.
with the, trying to breathe.
Every now and again, like as you go around this, if you went around the sort of the circuit of the camp, you'd have to pass him and be downwind from him briefly, and you would catch that scent definitely as you did pass that moment, like for a few moments at least.
Oh, yeah, definitely got to learn that precipitation thing that I used to. Oh God, I got to make it so we don't smell. Oh.
LV's optical sensors illuminate and he goes, P1C Dilly. Facial recognition programming says you are disgusted by my appearance.
Not appearance, LV. You've got a bit of an odor that's not quite pleasant.
Scanning. Partial decomposition detected on Doc Noche head.
Yep. Ooh, that's going to give us away if anyone gets downwind of you. You know that, right? Oh.
Apologies, this unit is not airtight. Makes for easier water movement and killing.
Jilly's going to have a quick look around and see if she can find any strong-smelling herbs or flowers or anything like that.
Is Dilly proficient in either alchemy or survival?
No, she's just going by smell at this point. Anything that smells better than LV that will cover up LV's smell, she's looking for, I think.
Proficiency. Yeah, no. I would say roll a survival check for me at disadvantage. I can probably do that here as well, actually. Survival.
So is it already at disadvantage, or I got to
I think you've got to hold Alt and then click on the dice, and it should not Alt, sorry, Control, and that should roll at a disadvantage. 12. It's not bad. So with a 12, you sort of look around and you look around and you look around. You got dark vision, so you can see a little bit better in the dark than anyone else. And you're sort of looking around for any type of flower or something. You come across a little yellow sort of patch of flowers, and they smell kind of almost lemony in some respect. They have a kind of a citrus smell to them. Definitely way better than what LV smells like, 100%. Whether that's going to mask it or not, you don't know. It's only a small, maybe half a dozen blooms on this little bush. up to you whether you do anything with it, but that is about all you find.
Dilly's going to go up to LV. Is there... Do you... So she's gonna grab a piece of her long hair and she's gonna get her knife and cut a little bit off of her hair, because she's got really long hair, and tie it up. Do you want to put that in with the head so it could work? It could work. It might not work, but I gotta give it a shot.
Affirmative. A ejecting drive, and his backpack section opens above his right shoulder, and he puts his arm behind him, drops it in there, and closes the hatch again.
I could just be lemon scenting a turd, but you know, worth a shot. I'm gonna finish off my patrol, and hopefully it works.
P1C Dilly.
Yes.
Query: why would Corporal Tolvere keep this head if it is decomposing?
Knowing I don't... Breakfast?
Nutrients for his stomach. That makes sense. His type of creature does like to eat certain things that keep their muscles bound.
The only other option could be he's trying to keep it for it to be analysed. But honestly,
LV can analyse this. He need only ask.
Could you analyse it, please, LV? So maybe he could just have it for breakfast or dinner or lunch or whatever he wants to do with it after that.
This unit will analyse.
Thank you.
DM, what shall I roll for analyse?
I was just looking at that. What are
Survival?
It would be so. You're not proficient in survival, and you're not proficient in nature. So it would be I'd say, what are you specifically trying to determine? Say.
She just said that
Nutritional value, perhaps.
Yeah, she said Tolvere would probably eat it, and he's thinking, well, he can analyze it to see if it's good for him or not. Surely, that's all he's thinking.
Okay, roll a survival at disadvantage. So hold control before you click, and you'll get it. You'll get this. Oh, it didn't work.
It didn't work. No.
No.
I held control, but nothing. Oh, I'll roll it again anyway.
Yeah,
Hey.
so 2. You can determine whatever you can determine with a 2, which is not a whole lot.
Sensing. Analysis complete.
Oh, see, I did it and it rolled with disadvantage.
Oh, wacky. Analysis complete. Analysis failed.
Oh, and I got a 2 as well.
Sensors indicate this is terminated already. Value and nutrition unknown. Apologies. P1C, I do not know.
It's fine, LV. We'll discuss more with the corporal in the morning. Maybe he can give us more light on the situation. I mean, maybe he can give us more details, not light, because light is like a torch. Okay, more details on what he wants this for.
Affirmative.
I'm going to finish up my watch, LV. I should probably go and get Uthop, because he's next.
Point of reference, Dilly.
Mm.
You now have a very citrusy smelling turd, as the way you put it. You just all you've really achieved by doing what you did is adding the citrus smell to the existing rotting flesh smell that is coming from LV. So you get a whiff of rotten meat and then that lemony fresh smell right on top of it. It hasn't made it any more pleasant. If anything's probably made it probably a little worse.
I kind of knew it as I was saying. I'm like, that's just going to be like covering a turd with like...
Yeah. I mean, you'd need a whole lot more of those flowers to even make a difference here, I think.
So yeah, as she's wiping the watering tears from her eyes. Oh God. Even my brothers didn't have this smelly of a nappy. Oh.
Would
And
P1C like this unit to go and find water and submerge itself?
Perhaps ask the corporal in the morning.
Affirmative.
I apologize, Ovi. It's nothing personal. Against you, I mean. It's personal to me because it stinks, but I mean, not personal to you because I know it's not your fault that this is happening. I
No
put all the
problem.
blame on the corporal. I'm going
Back
to
into
tell-
stasis. Shutting down. Boom, 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 boom.
And Jilly's gonna go and wake up Ooth.
And with that, you do that. You wake Uth. He grumbles and sort of... He wakes almost like he was not really asleep. You know how you sort of go check on someone as you go to reach out and grab them. You notice that his eyes are already open and he's looking at you. Already.
May I suggest something to clamp your nose?
Oh,
And then Dilly will just go to bed.
right. And Uth will then get up and he will stoke the fire. And he'll wander around and yeah, he'll get close to LB and go, wow. I smelt better things in fucking whorehouses. Jesus Christ. Hey, LB.
Unit awake. Yes, Uth.
I want to get rid of that thing. Got. You're going to attract something like wild, you know?
Fatal error. Your instruction cannot be followed.
Whatever. As you were. Do whatever you want. I'm going to go for a walk.
Apologies, Private Uth. You do not have the rank to tell this unit what to do at this point in time. However, we can ask the corporal in the morning.
Right. We're good. And he sort of
Shut him down.
He just grumbles as he walks away. Now, over the course of the next hour or so, LV, I'm going to need you to make 2 of these checks. This will be your first. I've set the DC at a particular level because you are in stasis or in shutdown-ish mode.
Correct.
Raiders, what's up? So your first check, even in stasis, you can hear Uth walking around, and occasionally you hear him muttering to himself. And I would say with a roll of 18, you hear him utter the word Jade Knight at one point. Then you hear you also at another point you hear him say something along the lines, "They can't find me. Can't find me. Flux is looking. Can't find me."
Affirmative.
Another hour or so goes by. I'll get you to roll perception check again. It's a little bit higher this time. At one point, you hear Uth sort of go back to his tent, and you hear him doing something in his tent, and you hear him come back out. And I'm just going to make a quick roll in the background here. Okay. You hear him rummaging around in his tent. You hear him come out of his tent again. He stokes up the fire. You hear that. And then you hear him walking around again and muttering to himself. And then it all goes quiet for a little while. You assume he might have sat down or something. Then for the next half hour, 45 minutes or so, you hear nothing. Just the sound of the forest. Crackling of the fire. Hooting of an owl occasionally. An hour goes by. Dead silence. Does LV react to an hour of like literally no sound apart from the forest?
In stasis mode, LV is prepared for unusual noises, things that are out of the norm. When someone is allocated a watch by the corporal or the P1C, he tries to go in proper stasis. Therefore, no, he would not.
The next hour goes past. So now the second hour. Nothing out of the ordinary. Crackling of tree branches occasionally probably sparks your interest. And you probably go into alert mode and have a look. You have a quick scan around, you can't see anything. You do hear the sounds of several small creatures close to the camp at one point. Again, you are alerted, you wake, your eyes open, you look, and you see what looks to be almost like a small child. About side, probably 2.5 feet, maybe 3 feet at tallest. And then as it gets a little closer, it seems to be a little inquisitive. It gets a little closer, and you see the firelight sort of flicker on its body, and it's made entirely of sticks and leaves, and it's got little sort of arcane blue eyes that sort of blink in the darkness. Blinks a few times at you in your direction, tilts its head to one side, and then scuttles away into the trees. But apart from that, nothing else. The sun starts to rise. And
sorry, with that small stick child coming and going,
yep.
LV would activate sensors and think, why isn't Uth sorting this out? And so I would activate sensors again and scan the area.
And as you turn and look, obviously you turn behind you firstly to see why Uth hasn't alerted to this as well. Uth is nowhere to be seen.
So as soon as I said there's no Uth in sight, LV would go, attention, at the top of his voice as I guess the sun's rising now.
Yep, the sun will be starting to rise.
Danger, there is a problem. Attention, Corporal Tolvier, danger.
And with that, it would be certainly loud enough. Think of literally, almost without going into it, the robot from Lost in Space. Very loud, very obnoxious tones as LV alerts the camp to potential danger. Various, Dilly and Tolvier, you're all brought to wake with a start.
Another
We'll be out right
crossbolt.
away.
Another crossbow bolt through Dilly's tent roof.
I keep rolling that I'm gonna do it.
Mark off your bolts too.
Yeah, I know, I've got like 2 bolts taken off.
Yeah.
I haven't written it down here though.
You know, just mark them off as you go. So
Attention, militia.
Yep, here we go.
Attention, militia. Something is out of the ordinary. Attention, rise from your tents. And LV's claw, the wrist claws, the hook claws are out.
Okay.
And he's ready, just looking around and around.
As you all wake up.
If you're reacting to Tolvier making, not Tolvier, LV making the noise, you roll to hit. Oh, I'm joking.
Yeah. You're way up in the top right, top of your camera at this time. You're all over the place, man. But as you all wake and up with a start, you what do? Do you grab your armor, your weapons, or you just vacate your tent to see what's going on? We'll start with Tolvier. How do you react to the alert as LV alerts you to something's happening, something's going on?
Toby will grab his axe and be straight out of the tent. What's going on? What's going on?
This one noticed small creature comes up to the campsite made of sticks. Uth is missing. This one noticed small creature disappear. Uth still missing. Something is wrong.
Dilly, how do you react apart from shooting the top of your tent again?
So after the initial attention at the top of the voice and her hair trigger finger, because she's got it on the actual thing, she would have got up, grabbed the daggers that would have been right beside her, and ran out. So she'll have both daggers in one hand, crossbow in the other, ready to go, looking. What? Where's this?
Unsure. This one assumes desertion. Shall we terminate?
Various, by this time you would be awake. Do you armor up or you just exit the tent?
So Various grabs his swords, but he still comes out in his pajamas, which are these fuzzy long johns with the back end open, and just his tail is like, what are we fighting? It stinks. It's fucking horrible. What's wrong? Other than the obvious.
Small stick child creature. And Uth is missing. Something is not right. Orders.
First order, can we ditch that head? Please, Corporal.
Is the sun up yet?
The sun is not fully up. Like it's sort of the light of the day is like the sky has gone into its sort of reds and blues of the morning. It hasn't quite breached the mountains yet, so it's sort of not fully light, but it's definitely light enough that you can see sort of around the camp area. The fire's still going, so you've got enough light to sort of see around. But you've probably got another hour before the sun's fully up.
LV, I want you to go around the area and see if you can find anything, or if you can find Uth.
Affirmative.
I'll have a look from the sky. Deli and Varus, just look around and stay in the camp area.
Yes, Corporal.
DM, we would like to investigate.
You muted, Dilly.
Sorry, DM, we would like to investigate the area for footprints.
No worries.
Or tracks.
And as he's going, I'm going, yes, Corporal, you may want to keep LV downwind, please.
Yeah, another few hours has passed, so it's getting pretty rank. So LV, investigation, not great.
Nope.
You look around the immediate area, lots of footprints. You guys have all been, or the bulk of you have been you've walked in here, you set up camp. Various Dilly and Tolvier have all done their perimeters of the camps. There's lots of footprints around, nothing really discernible. Tolvier's kind of stand out, obviously, because he doesn't wear shoes and he's got big feet. Dilly's probably stand out a little bit as well, because I think Dilly's in bare feet or soulless shoes anyway, from memory. Uth would be in boots, so you probably do find one or two sets of boot prints, but then you'd lose them very, very quickly in this sort of the long grass around the edges of the camp. Like the grass has been trampled around the camp a little bit, but then as you get further out from the camp, the grass gets longer and you lose it very quickly. And the trees thicken quite quickly as you leave the camp as well. This is a bit of a clearing, and as you start getting further and further from the camp, trees get thicker, the bushes and the grass gets longer and thicker as well. So it's really hard to sort of determine what tracks are going where. Tolvier.
Tolvier would spread his wings and fly up
to the
about
sky.
10 meters. About 10 meters and spiral the camp like in a slowly moving outward sort of pattern.
Okay, so we'll do it simultaneously. So we'll get you. You're going to go up. You're going to do that. I will get you from the air to make a perception roll, please. with a natural 1. This is perfect. As you take off into the sky and you start to circle slowly, spiraling out from the camp's center, trying to get a glimpse of Uth's armor, the cloak that he wears, anything. You spot the occasional animal, but you just see nothing else. Like the trees get really thick as you spiral out towards you. Then eventually get to the road where you left the road and where you came to this area. You get to the road and nothing. No sign of him anywhere.
Then that one, he probably flies into a tree.
Probably sees a squirrel or something. And goes, oh, squirrel, dinner, and goes off and tries to eat a squirrel. I'm hearing me through your speakers again, Drax. Dilly and Various, you are left in the camp. What are you doing specifically in the camp while these two are out looking for signs
Dilly
of Uth?
is going to turn around and tell Various to keep watch while she goes and searches Uth's tent.
Right,
and slowly dismantles it at the same time as she's searching.
So you're going to pull it, break it down?
So I'm going to search and then break it down to make sure I don't miss anything.
Okay, so Dilly, I'll get you to roll an investigation check as you methodically go through the remains of Uth's tent. Natural 20. Nice. Both ends of the scale here. So you systematically break down his tent. You first, before you do anything, you go inside, you have a look to see if he's left anything behind. His bedroll is definitely still there. His pack, his weapons, his armor, all gone. You pull his bedroll out, put that to one side for now. You start going through the tent, you start pulling it down, laying it out in a specific order so you can see everything. Then once you've got it all laid out, you start going over it. You go over the tent, the poles, the canvas to make sure he hasn't left anything behind. You get to his bedroll. You start going over the bedroll, and as you start patting the bedroll, you get to one corner and you notice the stitching has been cut. It's very clear that the stitching's been cut open. You reach inside and you pull out a folded piece of parchment.
Dilly will open it and read.
You open the piece of parchment paper and there's indeed a message written, looks hastily, like it's common. It's very hastily written. Looks like it's been written in charcoal. Like it looks like maybe he's grabbed something, a piece of charcoal from the fire and just written it down. And it simply says, I'm sorry, I have to go. This is bigger than you guys. And that's it. And it's not signed. But it's pretty obvious who wrote it. I mean, you would know. But that is all that's said.
Okay. And Dilly will sit on that until everyone gets together.
Various, what are you doing specifically? I mean, you would see Dilly breaking down the tent and everything as well.
Yeah, he'd do what he was told and sort of keep watch and look in various directions. And he's sort of thinking it every now and again. He's like, do you think he ran off, or do you think someone came and got him? It's either desertion or he's been taken, and if it's desertion, then we'll have to track him down and then there'll be punishment. But if someone's taken him, then we'll have to track him down and hope that he hasn't been punished by them. And he just sort of like dribbling, like super fast and looking around, and he doesn't really pay attention to Dilly pulling it apart. Like he's looking anywhere else, so he wouldn't see her grab that note.
So what you would see as you're sort of off on your own little world talking about things, you do spy that creature again. Sort of darting from tree to tree and from bush to bush, and then scurries up the trunk of a tree and disappears again. Then about 20 minutes later, you see it again, a little bit further out this time. That's the flash of red fur disappearing into the trees. It's about this time that LV returns from his scouting around, trying to find signs of where Uth may have gone. You would get back probably at the tail end. Dilly's to remove the note from things she's read it. Whatever you've done with it, whether you've folded it back up or whatever at this point, LV would re-enter the camp about then. And about 10 or 15 minutes later, I would say, maybe 20 minutes later, Tolvia would return.
P1C.
Yes,
This
LV.
unit has failed.
I think that was his intention, LV.
His tracks are lost rather quickly.
Good work, LV. Can you do me a favor? Just stand there. And I'll turn around so, you know, kind of that whole scoop round, just so he's not upwind.
Yes, so you've definitely got, once again, the strong smell of rotting flesh and lemon.
Affirmative. This one will stand over here.
I don't want to do anything until the corporal's gotten here, and I don't want to mention anything till the corporal's here.
Affirmative. Noted. Memories saved for Tolvia.
Okay, break down camp. All of you.
Breaking down camp. Affirmative.
Yes, Private. First class.
And it's about this point, Tolvia, you return, squirrel in hand, ready for breakfast.
Corporal, don't you already have breakfast in LV? Can we get rid of that, please? Because we're going to get made by anything that can smell.
What
we
are you
have-
talking about?
Breakfast.
Smells great to you.
What are you on about? I don't know.
Does that smell pleasant to you, Corporal?
Something smells delicious.
Right. Baking bread is a pleasant smell to me, but that's still going to fucking give me away if someone smells it out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Bacon bread?
Could you please work out what you want to do with that head? Either eat the fucker or we dump it somewhere, but it can't stay in LV. It puts us at a disadvantage.
Suggestion.
Go ahead.
This one believes if we keep this smelly head over the fire, allow it to burn, and then throw it into the forest, setting the forest on fire, all the creatures that have been looking at us over the night will die unpleasant deaths.
Let's not. Voice of reason. Let's not create genocide. Some of them are pretty innocent. Some are voyeurs. We got to let them respect their kink, but let's just leave it. Let's not create mass murder of animals. Some are actually innocent. Did you find anything, Corporal?
I didn't see anyone moving around the camp. Did you guys find anything?
Negative.
Okay. Well, if you found nothing, then we're not going to find him at all.
Notes from overnight. Replay. And I'd like to say I'd feel like my replay ability is almost like a recording speaker. Not quite, but it would come out similar like that. It says, you get Uth saying, Jade Knights. They won't find me. Flux is looking. Uth, after saying these things, moved to tent, then moved out again. Then there was an hour of no sound. Then, during the second hour of no sound, a wooden stick-like child with blue eyes came into our camp. Once he moved out is when I alerted everyone, realizing Uth had gone. End of scene.
So what you're saying is that Uth was kidnapped by Pinocchio.
Corporal, we already know that Uth has got a bounty on his head. You remember?
I do.
Well, here, I feel like it's become bigger than what it should have been, and from what LV said, with Fluxes looking and Jade Knights, it may be a bit more serious than what we thought. He may have been recognized that night, and gives him that. She's not mentioning what East told us. She's just using what LV said, and giving him the note that Uth wrote. I found this in his bedroll when I took it down and search.
Told me I would take it and read it. Okay, so he's abandoned us.
I don't know if I would say abandoned per se. Maybe couldn't see a way out without getting us involved.
Either way, desertion is punishable by death.
I realize that, LV. I realize the severity of it.
Should Should LV enter hunter-killer mode?
Corporal, it's your call, but I advise against it.
Did you find anything when you were out searching, LV?
Negative.
So odds are we won't be able to track him then.
Unless we burn down the forest.
We'll keep that as a secondary option.
It is the quickest, most effective way to kill all the enemy.
It is the quickest, most effective way to kill all the innocents, and I believe that's against, and as far as Dilly knows, his directives. From what he repeated, so...
Dilly makes a solid point. No, I don't think we should do that.
And it's also against the rules of engagement.
P1C Dilly does make a valid point.
I think at this point, as Oos said himself, this is bigger than us. This is something we carry on with our mission. We go back to the keep, we keep an eye out for Oos, we get him, we grab him, we take him back to the keep. It's not our job to punish him, it's theirs.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should continue and complete our mission. And then if we haven't seen them by the time we get back to the keep, then we'll just have to let them deal with them.
Corporal, permission to check something over there. I'm not sure if it's UF related, but still very curious.
Do you feel that you might be in danger? I mean, do you feel that you should put your armor on before you wander off in your garment?
Did he break down the camp in his pajamas?
I would say
he
so.
probably would have.
He probably
I
did.
didn't say that he put it on.
He didn't. You're right, he didn't.
That's probably true. As long as you keep LV from burning the forest down, should be all right.
And it's at that point, I think we'll take a small break. While Various redresses, and we'll come back to Various and what he wants to do after the break. Hey guys, my name's Evldoa, and we are playing Paradigm 2, or Campaign 2 of our Paradigm Realm, Shadow's Embrace, homebrew D&D 5e session, and we've just, as you have seen, we've just had one of our player characters run away. Mainly because our actual player character, Trash Manager in the chat, has had to pull out through IRL stuff, so we've had to write him out a little bit. So thank you, Trash. Hopefully you're approved, my friend. I did it the best way I could possibly do. I think it worked out pretty well. The dice rolls definitely helped. It was great. So we'll be back in just a few moments, guys. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. And we're back. What's up, chat? I'd just like to thank Colbert for the raid. What's up, dude? Glad you could stop by, and all the new friends. The amazing Amber with the follow. Thank you very much. Welcome to Evldoa. As I said, we are playing episode 15 of our homebrew campaign, Paradigm 2: Shadow's Embrace, which is set in the world of Paradigm, which is a world that I have created. This is our second campaign in this world. This campaign is set 100 years after the events of the previous campaign. So all of our previous PCs that did survive that campaign are now dead. Well, all with the exception of Queen Eldria. But the rest of them are dead and buried. So, we now return to thy camp. As Various, you wished to do something. You pointed something out to asking Tolvir permission to go search something. Realizing you still had your PJs on with your tail hanging out, you decided to redon your armor and sort yourself out before doing whatever you wished to do.
Yeah, so Various will sort of head in the direction he saw that
Creature,
fuzzy creature. He'll
which is roughly
make sure
this
his
area we
swords
are.
and that aren't out. So I'll place myself over there.
Problem. And what are you hoping to achieve, good sir?
I'm hoping to see if I can find out if it's taken off or whether it's still around, since it not only was there during my watch, but it's also there now, hours later.
Indeed. So I will get you firstly to make a perception roll, please. Ooh, so it was so close to being a 17. With a 12, you walk away from the camp, looking through the trees, and as you get further away, the grass gets longer, bushes a little bit more dense, the trees a little thicker, and you look around in that northern area, trying to capture a glimpse of that red and white fur. And initially, you don't see anything. 3 or 4 minutes, you're looking, you don't see anything, and then you hear a noise above you, in the tree above. And as you look up, all you see is just the flash of red and white fur disappear into the top of this tree. And the tree's very tall, very thick, thick foliage, lots of branches, probably too thick and spindly for you to climb. The lowest branch is probably about 10 or 11 feet high, and then it gets, like, let's say, really thick branches, almost hedge-like type of a tree.
I know you're up there somewhere because you haven't come down, and it's like you're keeping watch. And maybe you're hungry. I don't know what you eat. You probably don't eat. Well, maybe you eat meat. I think that's all I've got. And I go through my rations and grab out some rations, and
You got some dried meat and stuff in your rations.
I'm like, I don't know if you want this, but I'll put it here. And he sort of puts it down by the tree, and he's like, and then you can come down, and I don't know. Like, you're very interesting. And then he thinks about what wild creatures are like, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go now. And he goes and hides behind this rock because he thinks he's clever.
Okay, so you move yourself to the rock and you wait. How long do you wait? Do you wait and watch the piece of meat?
Yeah, probably for as long as he thinks Tovir will humor him, because he realizes he's not quite far enough away that they can't see that he's hiding there behind a rock.
The Tolvir, I mean, everyone, Tolvir, you do see Varys is sort of at this tree, he's looking up into this tree for a few minutes, and then places something on the ground below the tree and then comes back and crouches behind this rock, sort of watching the tree. 5 or 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. How long do you wait before you say anything? Because you guys are breaking down camp ready to move for the day as the sun starts to rise. You know you have a place to be.
Just in between the time what Various is doing, Dilly will be trying her hardest to convince Tilver to get rid of the damn head from LV because it's making her literally be sick.
Have that conversation. Be my guest.
Corporal, can you please get rid of... Can we dispose of the head from LV? Or... LV, can you stand downwind, please? You're probably scaring whatever there is to it. Please!
Affirmative.
Can we get rid of the head?
I don't understand why you think it smells bad. Should be good for another few days.
As I said, baking bread in the wild, while it smells nice and pleasant to us, is unnatural and will attract anyone we are trying to stealth or hide. We want to make a good impression with the militia, don't we, Corporal? We want to represent them in a good way. And while you find this smell very pleasant, I can guarantee you right now, Corporal, that others will not. And it will look bad on us with the militia if they turn around and say that our members smell a little Q-whiff. And it may come back badly on us. And honestly, Silver, I really don't want to have to put salt on anyone's wounds again.
Don't you think that when we get to this place that's been attacked by harpies, that they wouldn't mind us giving them a nice free meal?
I don't think that's on their diet. As you said, these come from the Underdark. They don't normally come up this far. This wouldn't be their regular diet. It might make them stronger, who knows? It's an arcane kind of animal that attacks. Oh, for God's sake, can we just get rid of the smelly little fucking shit that's sitting in fucking LV's chest, please?
LV, can you make that perception awful?
Affirmative.
Yeah, you definitely see these creatures. As this conversation's going on, four of these little stick creatures that you spied the night before crash out from the bushes 5-6 feet from you and just start charging at you. Again, 2.5, 3 feet tall, but there's now 4 of them. They've got little, looks like they might have little spears or something with them, but they're coming directly at you specifically, and they look hungry. So with that, we're going to...
LV would alert as soon as he sees them. Alert, enemies incoming, orders.
Defend the camp. Kill the things if they're hostile.
Excellent, hunter killer mode activated.
Who am I missing there? Tolvi, I didn't get you. Oh no, Tolvi is there, and Dilly. We just had to scroll down to get you.
Initiative, right.
Yep, so roll initiative. LV, you're good.
Oh, did it automatically do it, did it?
Must have, yeah. If you're rolling from your sheet, it'll do it well. So I think even if you're rolling from your D&D Beyond sheet, it'll do it, maybe. If not, let me know what your initiative is, Dilly, and I'll put it in.
I didn't roll it, though.
Yeah, for some reason, yours rolled.
Must have auto-rolled, eh?
Must have.
I don't mind. It's still raining.
It is. So, we're all good there. So we're going to get some battle music going. So, ladies and Germany's, our battle music is now going. We're going to begin our combat. And Dilly, you are the first in the initiative. As moment LV alerts to whatever's going on, you notice as you turn, you see these small creatures crashing out from the bushes and heading directly for LV. Before you have your turn, however, I just need to make a couple of rolls. The first one being this one here. Roll one of these. Well, right, so we're good to go. This is your turn, Dilly.
So I see them going to attack.
They are
LV
charging
if they're
LV.
hungry.
Yeah, they're charging directly towards LV, all four of them.
She's going to pull up the crossbow, and she's going to. And I can't actually see anything because the camp's not broken down, so I can't see anything actually in here.
I will show you something in just a second because I can break down the camp. This is the cool thing about this stuff here. I can.
Cool.
So as you did definitely break down the camp, I can remove that tent because that tent's there. But that is, there we go. So you should be able to see
Gilly
past
is
the
going
tents.
to fire her crossbow at. So targeting's left click.
Alt click will target, or double right click, I believe will do it, or alt right click.
I just did alt click.
Yep, that works.
Yep.
That's worked.
Cool. Alright, and I will shoot a crossbow. All the while, did I do it?
No.
No.
Nope.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Beautiful.
And
That
all the while
misses.
Going to Tolver. I told you that smell would attract people. Fucking hell.
As you hold your nose and aim, your aim is slightly off, and you shoot just wide of the first creature that you can see. Is that your turn, Dilly?
I believe because it's my cross turn. Yes, I'll move probably to here.
Yep.
So I get a better line of sight.
No worries. Next up is this one's turn. It charges into LV, and it will target LV, and it will make its attack. It is going to LV, I need you to make a strength saving throw for me, please.
Strength, eh?
Which I think I can actually do here as well. I know you got it.
I've done it.
18. You're
18.
good. You are good. As vines and things start to grasp out from underneath you, from this creature, it sort of reaches out its arms and they sprout and start to try and tangle up around your legs and arms, and you manage just to break free from it. No dramas at all. That is pretty much its turn. Varys, you're up. So Varys, you've seen one crash out of the trees here next to where you were as well.
Yeah. So Varys is like still waiting for that thing. He's like, "Oh, is it my companions? They're quite pleasant, really. Like, Dilly's quite nice, and LV's quite a." And he's like, "Is that And he sort of looks back and sees them.
It's just making weird sort of growling noises, and it's not even focused on you. It's just making a beeline for the camp.
That's a problem. And he's sort of gonna turn and look at the others and hope that he's gonna be okay, and he's gonna get his longbow out and try and shoot that one there.
Make your target and shoot away, good sir.
And then he does extra damage to all of them for a bit.
No worries. What's the extra
It's
damage?
1d4.
1d4, no problem.
So that is
An extra 1 point of damage.
Yep.
Not a problem. That is recorded as the flash of is it arcane in nature?
I think it's just part of his ranger.
It's just a
Just
ranger
part of
ability,
being a
isn't
ranger,
it? Okay.
but because he's a Fey Wanderer, I figured it'd be Fey in nature.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's part of that. So I'd say your strikes you strike a more vital part of the body, being a favoured enemy. So I just need to make sure whether there's any arcane stuff going on. That's all. Is that your turn, good sir?
That is my turn.
Tolvir, you're up.
The stream just dropped again for a second.
Really?
Don't know why.
Random. It's not showing. It's not showing on OBS that it's dropping.
It is showing that it's only been active for a minute.
Yeah, that's random as hell. That is. Yeah, that's fucked, man. Yeah, it's definitely dropped. That's
is
Twitch
dying.
for you. I bet you, because it's telling me again my bitrate's unstable. Anywho, we'll carry on.
You know, Toby is going to say, "Oh, there's no guarantee that this is because of that head. That these things are attacking us because of this head." And he's going to turn around. Say, "Why don't you just, LV, take that head out of your pocket and throw it over there. And if they attack it, then your guys are right.
Affirmative.
And then I'm going to break out my axe and attack whatever's closest. I
And
believe it's that one.
yep, you'll have to move yourself. You should be able to stand on top of the tent. Here we go.
I wasn't sleeping in the tent, so should be right.
Yeah, well, the tent's technically not there, so. And that'll be a miss. As Tolbir raises his axe, creature's too quick and ducks under.
Alrighty,
Bonus action.
other thing going on. Sure, I got a bonus action. Because I've moved it over there. Of course, this thing doesn't do it in combat, which is a pain in the ass. Sorry, it's things that work in, things don't work in. Which one my other thing is. Okay, I'm gonna bite as a bonus action.
Yep, no worries.
Shit, I can figure out what the hell the other sheet's gone. Hold up, I'll just do like this. It's 8 to hit.
That'll be +3 to hit, so it'll
11.
be 11. That'll miss, I believe.
Sweetest.
No problems. That's your turn,
That's my
Tolvir.
turn.
This creature's turn. Again, straight into LV, not focusing on anyone else. They all seem to be focused on LV. This one scrambles up onto your back, LV, and is going to try and constrict you. And I believe he misses with a 4. He tries to sort of grapple around your head and he's like trying to get around your throat. Just doesn't seem to be able to do so. that is his turn. Next up is this one's turn. He is also going to try the same thing, and his will be at advantage. Target you. It's with a 23, dealing, what are we dealing there? 6 points of bludgeoning damage to you, LV. You will also need to... Nope, you are currently restrained. On your turn, if you want to become unrestrained, you'll have to roll a DC 12 strength save.
So restrained just means I can't move, right?
I will have that there. So restrained means, I do have it here somewhere. Rules, conditions. Restrained. Restrained creature's speed becomes 0. It can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. The creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, and it should, if you're rolling from Foundry, it should do it automatically, as I've added the condition to you.
It took my life down automatically too, which was pretty cool.
Yep, certainly did. Well, I did that. I clicked it, and it does that.
Oh, okay.
So that is its turn. Next up is you, LV. So it's now your turn. So you can attack, but it'll be at disadvantage, which it should do it automatically.
That's okay, I received an order from Tolvir. Unfortunately, the order that Tolvir gave is in a direction that there is a creature. So LV in Hunter Killer mode looks at the fireplace, ejects the head from his shoulder cap, and throws the head at the fireplace. I don't know if I can...
Okay, so yeah, you should be able to do it. Won't be any disadvantage or any kind of check. You're strong enough to throw the head towards the fire.
Cool, so yeah, I just want to throw the head into the fire is my plan, basically.
Okay, so what I might do, just to see how accurate you are...
Like a dex check or something? Or just like a weapon attack throw?
Roll that dexterity check for me.
Right. Incoming head to fire.
An 11. I would say that it hits the fire but doesn't stay in the fire. So it rolled through it and rolled out the other side. You heard the sizzling and the hiss from the as the flesh hits the fire. As the fire's getting close to being burnt out anyway. But it doesn't stay in and rolls just out the other side. One thing you do notice is the creature that's on your back, his attention shifts almost immediately to where you threw the head.
So with the throwing of the head being an action, I would normally want to use a bonus action to disengage. Oh no, because I'm restrained, right? To make a strength check to be unrestrained, is that correct?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so that'll be everything I can do if I do that strength check, I believe, if I'm correct.
Yes, that'll be at the end of your turn.
Okay, that will be the end of my turn now then.
You're looking at DC 12. You are still restrained.
Nope. Too many of these things on me. And that's it.
No problem. That is your turn. It is now. We're gonna add this one. Initiative order. This one also. So it's now this guy's turn. He scoots right past you, straight towards the head. Don't even, he's after whatever that is. Straight onto the head, grabs it, and sort of looks around. Makes a whole bunch of clicking noises and sort of growling noises, and turns. And with the rest of his movement, with a dashing movement, heads back towards the trees. That way, with head in hand. We're now up to this guy. This guy dashes past you, Various. Doesn't even look at you. And he will dash also up behind this guy. Dilly, it is now your turn. And you would have seen that. You would have seen the creature run in, snatch up the head of the creature, turn and then just bolt.
Gilly is going to hold her crossbow action, meanwhile looking at Tolver with an "I told you so" look.
So you're going to hold an
But
action.
yeah, I'll hold my crossbow action.
No worries. Next up is this guy. Now that that has happened, he also turns and heads in that direction. LV and Tolver, you would both get an attack of opportunity if you wish to, as this creature break off the attack and head away from you. So it's up to you whether you take the attack or not. LV, do you wish to make an attack of opportunity?
100%. LV is in hunt kill mode.
No worries. Make your attack of opportunity so you can target the creature that is highlighted with his red ring. And make one melee attack, please. $14 still hits. Dolph here with a natural 1 on his opportunity attack, missing badly with a natural 1. So that is its turn. It doesn't seem phased. It's on the move. Varys, you're up. Tolver on board. So you've seen this creature just scream past you, doesn't even look at you, it's just going and taking off down towards whatever the head. You would have seen the head sort of bounce out of the fire in that as well. So all of you would have seen what's been happening with these creatures.
Yeah. So Varys starts off in a sprint. He sort of looks back into the tree. He's like, "You stay up in the tree. I think we've got this." And I'll sprint all the way over here with my 35.
Yep.
And I will attack this thing that's assumingly attacking Tolver.
It was attacking LV. All of them were attacking LV. But yeah, you can see it's you can see it's right there. But right, so make target and attack, good sir. You will. An 8 will miss, unfortunately.
Yep. And then he'll go with his offhand,
which will also miss.
Yeah.
These creatures are very quick. You swing, it ducks, you swing, and it sort of moves out the way. And no contact, unfortunately.
Alright,
that is your turn. Tolver, it's now your turn.
Yeah. Feeling like I need to apologize here. He's gonna spin around really quickly, and he's gonna tail attack this one that's directly in front of him.
No worries, roll to hit.
Which he needs to succeed on.
Oh, strength save, isn't it?
DC 11 strength.
Which he does so with a 14. Does he take any damage, or is it just a
No, save or not prone.
Okay, cool. So he manages to avoid the incoming tail attack. It strikes him, but he stands his ground.
So, I definitely told you that it smelled delicious, and these creatures obviously agree. It smelled delicious, and I'm going to end my turn.
And your turn there, no worries. Next up is this creature who also turns and bolts. Once again, LV, attack of opportunity from you.
Negative. I've already used my reaction this
Oh,
round.
you have too, indeed, so you cannot. So that he will actually dash and disappear into the trees. This one will, you'll see, out of the corner of your eye, you'll see this creature bound across the grass and in the same direction and disappear. This guy also does. So LV, Varys, you're the only one that gets an attack of opportunity on that one if you wish, as it takes off. Is Tolvia, you have also used your reactions.
Seeing that the other two don't, Various won't.
Cool. So with that, it is now LV's turn. And LV, these things now are running away from you at pretty quick pace too, I might add.
LV is still in hunter-killer mode as
He
per
is.
orders, and he will jump the one I have highlighted.
Yep.
Hook daggers pulling out and making 2 strikes. Oh, no. Am I
No,
still restrained?
Actually, no, you would no longer be restrained, as that one would have let you go.
Okay, sweet.
I will remove that condition, as the one that was on you let you go and took off.
Cool. So I'll make 2 strikes at the one that I've highlighted with my hook blades. And I'm going to leap at him and try and hook him right in the back of the neck area and
Okay.
drive both blades each side of the clavicle.
Roll your
Once I roll
hit,
the dice.
sir. Natural
Ooh,
one.
natty
First
one on
one
the first one.
misses. You misjudge and find nothing but air. Second also misses. This creature's just way too quick. Quick and
Impressed.
spindly. Seems to be able to
Yeah.
avoid your attacks.
Albie's like, these things are extremely fast. And that is it for him.
Is it for him? Next up is this
Or,
one.
we had advantages, eh?
You do have an advantage.
I have one.
Yes,
one.
everyone, I think, got one from trash.
I'll just roll one more attack if that suits you.
Go for it. You've got it. You've got to use it, and we're almost at the end of the session.
Yep, because we're almost at the end. Do it. Straight in the back of that neck again.
Still
Come on,
misses.
baby. Still misses.
Unfortunately,
Hey!
it is way too quick for you. And with that, this one takes off and disappears into the trees. This one that you've just attacked sort of
Can't believe it.
turns and, well, half point sort of turns over, its head over, looks at you and sort of grins, and then bounds off at a great rate of speed and disappears. No, you still don't have a reaction, do you? Hasn't come back to your turn yet. So that is that one
yes.
gone.
Yep, so I just had my turn fresh, so I'd have
Yep.
a reaction.
You do. So you can attack of opportunity. I will.
Definitely. Got to get one hit today, surely.
So the one I've just. I think you're still targeting it, so you can still attack. It
That's
does
better.
hit. It does indeed. You do get a little bit of reprieve
4 damage.
as it disappears into the trees, as you slash out at it as it disappears.
I slice as its legs as I sort of go down to the ground as it runs away from me, missing all
Yep.
the other shots. I go for those ankles.
Era gave you guys advantages as well, so you got 2 advantages to use each, guys.
Just the ear is one I saw.
Trashy gave you ones as well, I believe.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep, so we got Drax. Yep, you all got one from Trash as well. So that is that.
Thanks, Trash.
Gone. So next up, Dilly, it is your turn. As these things seem to be just scarpering for the bushes and disappearing.
Dilly is going to put her crossbow to her side and going to yell out, "Remember our mandate and the laws," at the top of her lungs, as in, stand down. If you don't say it, Corporal, I am. They are not causing us no harm. They just want food. And she will be very firm with them about it, because it's like, no.
Your voiced opinion has been heard. Is that all your turn?
Other
Going
than
to move?
giving, no, she's just going to stand there.
Yep.
But she will. No, I'll leave it. I'll leave it.
With-
So as a note, as she says that, LV's targeting reticle would just blink off.
Okay, cool. So that's this guy's turn. He runs off and disappears into the trees. Varys, now your turn. There is one left visible, which I believe is this one here. But you've also heard your private first class call out as well.
So Various, having heard Dilly, and leaving the creature in the tree, he'll go back to his rock and say, "Are you all right up there?"
No problem.
Without even he won't even look at the other two. He'll just
No
completely
worries.
just run in a different direction.
Tolvier, it's now your turn. What do you do in this situation? I mean, obviously hearing Dilly also.
Yeah. Alright, everyone stand down. Yeah. I don't think they're coming back.
Indeed.
He's obviously very awkwardly sort of.
And with that, we will end our combat situation. I will make that one disappear as well. We will end our combat there. And you guys click add on your characters in the chat. It'll add the XP automatically. You will still, even though you didn't kill any, you're still getting the XP for the fact that you didn't kill them. So that is the end of the combat. Varys, you head back to the rock, looking up at the tree to see if you can spy your little friend that you appear to have made, perhaps. And you wait another 5 or so minutes, and you do not catch a glimpse of him. But you do notice as you look over, the meat that you left at the base of the tree is gone.
So Varys will look back at the others and Dilly in particular, and he'll cross his fingers. He's like, hopefully this works, and he's going to cast a spell. He's going to cast Speak with Animals on himself. Like, don't fuck this up.
Okay, so you're going to cast Speak with Animals.
Yes, cast spell.
Ooh, interesting. So something does happen, but you won't be aware of it until a particular thing happens, which may or may not happen. But you cast Speak with Animals. You do feel a bit weird when you cast it. You do get the impression the moment you summon that energy to cast this particular spell, even though it's more of a nature-based thing than an arcane thing, you still get that weird feeling around the magic, around using the magic. And you get a strange sort of almost like pins and needle feeling in your hands as you release the spell. It's there for a few moments and then dissipates. But you have cast a spell. What do you wish to say?
I mean, you probably know more about these things than we do, and hopefully this spell works. Magic is weird. It'd be great if you come back. I don't know that following us around's a great idea. We tend to get attacked in the morning. I wonder if that's a thing. I see you took the food. I think you took the food. Hopefully I see you again. I should go now. And just rambling as he always does, and then
Do you wait for a response at all?
Yeah, he'd wait a bit for a response.
Wait a few moments, you get nothing, and right as you're about to turn and walk away thinking, oh, maybe it's gone, you hear, thanks for the food, mate.
He just has this big grin on his face, and he sort of look back, and sort of knowing that it's probably not going to come out, he's like, and he walk back towards the camp.
That's all you get. Thanks for the food. And you head back to the camp. You guys, I mean, you'd all but broken down the camp when this had happened. The smell of the head is still lingering on the air. Like you guys are downwind now from the Howling Mountains, so you can still get a slight whiff of that rotting flesh on the air. Tolvier, it still smells pretty damn good, although it smelled more lemony than you remember. but definitely better. It still smelled like it was pretty good, and obviously these creatures thought so too, which is why they came after it. And I think that is probably a good time for us to call tonight's session, and we'll pick up there next week. Well done, team. Well done, chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again for another Sunday evening D&D. Tolvir, I will look at that bite attack. I will add it to your Foundry sheet as an actual attack, so it will work properly. I'm not sure why it wasn't working, but I will fix that.
If there's a bite for an action and a bite for a bonus action, 2 separate buttons would be so much easier.
Well, that's the thing. I'll make it a bonus action. I'll make your bonus action bite. I'll name it bonus action bite. So I'll create it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why it wasn't working as a bonus action. Because it should, even though it lists it as an action. Because where did we put it in your? Because it's not under your attacks on your Foundry sheet.
Under features.
Under features. Ah, yes, it is. Oh, it's got it down as an action. That's why. I can change that. Are you likely to use it as an action? Or
Possibly.
more likely as a bonus action?
More likely as a bonus.
So I can change that one to a bonus action, or I can add a bonus action version of it, which I may do.
Yes.
I'll add what I'll do is I'll add another version of it and make it a bonus action, so you can use it either.
But at the start of the night, when I hovered over something, it came up with a whole description on the left side of the...
Yep, which it should do.
And now it doesn't.
Okay, that's weird. Did you change the sheet?
No?
Okay, that's odd. Because I'm seeing that description pop up on the left. I don't know. Things are weird since the update anyway. But you got some more XP, which is getting you closer to your next level, which is good. So, moments. We will start on the bottom directly below me here with Mr. Orbazim, aka EV or LV 426, the Warforged. A moment or 3 from you, good sir. Either yourself or someone else, or both.
I try not to give myself too many moments, but definitely the others I've won for everyone. Tolvir. Bards crave attention, and he says this to Various when Various asked him, what do you think he wanted? Bards crave attention. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Bards do crave attention, indeed.
And when LV said he wondered what about music, and Various said, music, you're not missing much. Something about Bard's sexual habits was tagged on the end there as well.
Yes, I did hear. Yes, there was something. And they're not wrong there either, to be fair.
And
they are rather
Dilly
promiscuous.
Yes, that's true. We know that from Head. Dilly said, we're going to get made with that smell. We're going to get made by anything that can smell. And it just proved truthful.
I mean,
that's it for me.
And funnily enough, I didn't actually plan that way, but I thought, everyone started talking about the smelly head, and I was thinking, okay, what in this forest would like to eat something stinky? And I thought, these things will do. Worked out quite well. Next, we will cross over to Mr. Grim Realities, aka Various the Satyr.
So Dilly being so triggered by being attacked in the morning, shooting holes in the tent.
I mean, she's already ruined one tent. Now she's going to ruin the other one by shooting it herself.
Another one.
Come on.
It was something Drax said, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
Well, he says a lot of funny things.
He does, but just the whole thing with the head, with Drax, and then coming back with that squirrel was quite funny.
Well, and that one on that looking for Oath was just perfect. So
coming back with squirrel in hand. And LV with the with the reset of his system, dig fragging and offering the cookies, and I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. That'll be me.
Mina, aka Dilly the Gnome.
So I liked the whole situation with Various and the mysterious thing of wanting to get to know it, and the fact that he was breaking down the camp with his tail hanging out.
With his butt flap open.
Tolver going, and it was said in chat, and here comes the I told you so. Here it comes. LV and the whole, your face seems my appearance is displeasing to you. And all I could think of was
That
the
was great.
smell.
It was great.
What I probably liked the most was how well the roles played into the situation tonight. They just worked.
Yeah.
So when Uth left, they just worked just perfectly. And in my head, because of how Dilly is at the moment, how we never really got a hit on the actual creatures that were just going after the head.
Yeah.
I liked how no one could hit them.
that was surprising.
Cool.
And the thing is that, I mean, they didn't have huge hit points, but yeah, it was that you guys struggled to hit them too, which was even better because they are quite small and wiry. So it was pretty good. I think
I just loved how the dice rolls just kind of matched the situation of what was going on. I kind of like that.
Definitely. Mr. Drax, aka Tolver, the dragon.
Loved how the Dot Noche here defeated Jelly and she played it so well, which is so offended by it. Like the fact that she said it's a citrusy smelling turd.
Yep, definitely.
LV's various noises throughout the night always crack me up. And him saying that he wants to burn the whole forest down.
And he would have done it if you'd given him the order, 100%.
Yeah. And Varys hunting the little panda bear thingy.
Yes, definitely. That may happen again or not. So we may see the return of said creature potentially in the future. But yes, Trash. It was good to see you in the chat, dude. As I said before, hopefully the Uth send off was what you were sort of hoping or what you wanted. Even though we didn't really want you to be leaving our campaign, but things happen obviously, and we will hope to see you back at some stage in the future. So moving forward, it'll be just these four, and as I say, next session we should actually get you guys to Steerin. So that was going to be obviously for this session if Uth was here, but we had to sort of write Uth out. So this session was dedicated to you, Trash. Was to remove your character, so we sort of had another camping scene. So I don't really want to have too many of those in a row because I think it would get a little boring if we did 3 or 4 of those every time we went on a travel. So hopefully it wasn't too bad for you guys either playing it, because obviously we don't want to have you guys bored to tears either, because that's the last thing I want to have is bored players. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the session as well. And chat, hope you enjoyed the session, and we'll be definitely back next Sunday for some more D&D. I'll be back tomorrow with some map stuff. So map making Monday, we're going to get back into some Dragon Heist or Ice by Peak maps. Tuesday, I'm not sure yet. Wednesday, we'll be back with Lost Mines. With you'll see Mr. Grimm, you'll see Ericode and JJ joining us for that, and then Thursday, Pew Pew Thursday, and then back here Sunday for some more D&D. Hopefully Twitch will sort it shit. That's the worst I've ever had it with dropouts. It's 3 dropouts tonight, and I've never had that issue ever. And it's not showing in OBS that I'm dropping out. I've been live for 2.5 hours in OBS, so it's definitely a Twitch thing. Because I didn't see it drop at all in OBS, which is random ass. So if Twitch doesn't sort its crap out, let you guys know as the community that I do have a backup. I have set up YouTube all ready for streaming. So if Twitch shits the bed, we do have an avenue to continue streaming over on YouTube. So that can be an option in the future. Short of that, we're going to say goodnight. I know Baz is probably going to get up early for the work thing, and Drax probably does too. So I'll see you guys next time. We are going to raid, but Drax and Baz, if you need to take off, you do so. And we will catch you guys when we catch you next.
Sweet. Will do. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. and I'll find some of the raid. Cheers, Jax. Who are we going to raid? That's the question. We must have dropped out 3 times. Looking at that.
Yeah.
Yep, 3 times. You were still talking, and there was nothing on the actual stream.
I'm going to have to do some creative editing on VODs. That. Oh well, hopefully that wasn't too much of a disappointment for you guys in the chat. We didn't miss too much. Who is online? We have Stormy Dragon Tavern. They're doing some Durandurs. About the only Durandur tonight. Interesting. I think we'll raid there. Right, copy that. I will have to have a look at those VODs. So guys, obviously if this VOD doesn't make it up for a few days, it'll be because I'm downloading and editing. So we may not see the VOD for this till probably, maybe not until Wednesday. We'll really see. It will depend. But thanks for sticking it out anyway. I do appreciate it. Appreciate the resubs. You guys are awesome. And the new follows. Culprit with the raid. Always good to see you, my friend. And we will see you guys tomorrow for some stuff and things with maps. Until then, take care. Stay safe.